Good day, everyone. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. All right, so my Wednesday wisdom video. Well, quick announcement actually before I get into the video. So not this Thursday, but next Thursday, I'm doing my Alchemy Dance Fit workshop, and I'm super excited for those of you who are participating, and there's definitely a couple more spots. So if next Thursday works for you, awesome. The theme is dancing to divine rhythm and incorporating that in mind, body, spirit, and then learning to connect with the inner child through an alchemy process that I learned. And then the best part, we get a dance, you know what I mean? Like get into that flow and that free flowing, joyful flow with your inner child and just incorporating that divine rhythm. And last, to finish it all off, we got integrated with a guided meditation. So yeah, I'm super excited. You're getting all of that in like 75 minutes. Inner child is actually pretty expensive. If you've ever done inner child healing, connection, any form of inner child work, it's actually super expensive. So this is an intro into it, and it's super affordable. So if you've ever thought about learning more about inner child connection or healing, this is a super affordable price. It's $33 at a discounted rate. So yeah, you're getting a lot in this class. Okay, so I was really thinking about like what I should do for today's Wednesday wisdom. And so just talking to a few different people this week and even last week, like there's definitely an energetic surge going on right now. So I figured what is better than to ask some of my Oracle and Tarot cards. Well, that's upside down, but Keepers of the Light, Energy Oracle cards, and the Light Seers Tarot. So I was just gonna do a pretty quick reading. Nothing super intensive, but you know, just for this week, seeing how, you know, what could like serve us as we're going through these different surges at this time of energy. For me, I'm definitely feeling the collective more this week than like on such a personal individual. Like I'm feeling fatigued and exhausted. I'm like, what the heck is going on, right? I mean, I've been doing a lot, so of course that can be part of it, but it just feels so much more than that. Like also not really sleeping great, and nowadays I sleep really well. It used to be an issue for me, but it's something, yeah, has improved for me. So let's dive into it. Okay, so Keepers of the Light. So this is going to be a live polling. This is going to be an active polling. So just one card for this week to help guide us with, you know, the current and the energy surging and just all that stuff that's happening, maybe coming to the surface for you. Maybe you just feel off your game a little bit and you're just like, what the heck is going on? Or maybe you just feel something and you don't know, or maybe you have a knowing, and maybe you have a knowing. All right, Kuan Yin, love Kuan Yin. Oh yes, so care and compassion, choose to be love, do what is right for everyone involved, offer a helping hand. So gosh, this can, for some, right, as people, first I'm going to talk to the people who like go out of the way to help so many other people, right? So sometimes it's more of taking care of yourself, right? And having more compassion to yourself. And a lot of the time when we start to have more compassion, like that inner critic, when we're constantly judging ourselves or shaming or blaming, or just whatever little thought that creeps in that is more on the negative side or not really serving you for your highest and greatest good. Sometimes you got to really utilize compassion for yourself, and in return you will also start to see having more compassion for others in new ways than you already do. Now, for others, sometimes we are so judgmental of others and what they're doing, whether they're younger, older, our age, doesn't matter, our kids, other people's kids, so on and so forth, our grandkids, the kids, and the kids. So as you can see, my inner child kid is a little lively today. But okay, so really starting to help others, and sometimes just like a simple hug like can really go a long way. Like yesterday, this lady, because I work part-time in a chiropractic office, right? Most of you guys know that. If you don't, I also do that. And so this lady has to put her dog down, and she was just like torn up. And I could tell, like I could feel that, right? As highly sensitive energy people, like you feel that. And so, I asked her, I was like, would you be okay with a hug? And she was like, yeah. And so, I gave a hug, I held space for her. And afterwards, she was like, thank you. I really appreciated that. And I was like, yeah, of course. Sometimes it's always an interesting position to be in, because even though if you feel another person's energy, they're not always ready to want a hug. Some people are like, I ain't getting near you. You may have something, or I just don't want to touch you, which I understand. I like my personal space too. I get it. But sometimes people just need a hug, right? So sometimes just a simple gesture is that, and holding space of compassion. A lot of people are going through some crazy stuff right now. A lot of people are passing away. There's a lot of souls that are crossing. So just being able to hold space right now, whether, it's someone who has an animal, maybe they're having to get a new job, however it may apply for someone, right? Okay, so Kuan Yin is all about compassion. And you can also, if you're not really sure how to dive deeper, because basically, even if you are a compassionate person, she's asking you to dive deeper. Okay. And then the energy oracle cards, I'm just going to ask two or three cards for guidance for this week, just to help us. 2 or 3 cards, please. Spirit guides, angels, all the fun stuff that's all around. Okay, we got 1. Women holding a coin. All right. Women holding a coin. There's also a cat looking at her, or looking at the coin like, hey, let me have some of that. Interesting. My eyes went to that. Let's see. For the collective, y'all. For the collective this week. I just want one more card, at least. Uno más, por favor. All right. Got it. The world. Dum, 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 dum. The world. All right. Interesting. Oh, so, wow. Interesting what I first see. Look at the world. See how half of it is in darkness and half of it is in light? Isn't that the truth right now? Like, a lot of us are going into the void, or what a lot of people like to call in the spiritual area, the shadow side. I just prefer to really be able to call those parts that aren't really serving us and allowing us to see them and confront them and not run away from them, and bring them to the surface and then learning to release and surrender them. But, you know, there is definitely a lot of change happening. This person, there's like an individual and you can't see, you know, who it is. And what I'm really feeling is maybe the collective right now is really like half and half. Like this world card is really being stuck, like between the light and the dark. And so one, on the inside level, maybe you're really going through a massive shift right now. I know I did over the summer, and I spoke about it in my previous videos, so you can check that out. You know, dealing with depression and apathy, and knowing that we all go through something. Like no matter where you are at in your life, no matter what you've been through or what you've accomplished, whether that's in physical money or mental or emotional or spiritual, however you want to look at that, like we all end up going through something to, you know, allow the lessons to learn and unfold, and most importantly for our soul's growth, right? So it doesn't matter where we are on our spiritual journey. Wow, the words today are just, it's one of those days, you know, the words. Yeah, okay, so also with the women holding a coin, and I'm going to clarify these, what I was initially drawn to was the cat, and maybe there is someone who, this is more specific, maybe you're starting to have some success, financial abundance, and, you know, there's other people lurking in the background, maybe getting a little jelly, you know, kind of envious, and just kind of, you know, like how is she doing that? And really that's coming from insecurity. Jealousy is an insecurity. It's coming from a place of lack. The other thing that I'm feeling is another area that this could be is for someone who is building financial abundance and success. And again, even though she is holding a coin, so this could be very physical, right? But with the world here, okay, the world is changing. So maybe how we were viewing physical success is actually changing because the world is changing. We're evolving, and you can see certain systems are starting to crumble, and they need to crumble. And a lot of people, you know, just say, for example, if you have kids, and majority of them, you know, they were in school and now you're choosing to do homeschool, right? You're just like, the school system is not working for my kids, since I'm in this inner child energy today, right? And for others, you know, going to school is crucial. Maybe the year of COVID made you realize, like, I actually like going to school. You know, I like seeing my friends. So it can always put things in perspective. Okay, so I'm going to clarify one card with the women holding a coin. Okay, or two. So we got 6 of Swords and 6 of Cups. I love that the inner child is like so relevant right now. Not just for me and the energy I am, but I've noticed that with other people too. So it could potentially be a collective, but the 6 of Swords really starting to see, this person only has what she needs. You know, for me, birds are, it can depend on the card, but for me overall, the symbolism for birds for me is just seeing a higher perspective, could be guidance from spirit, and really like guiding you and taking you. And as you can see, you know, these birds are taking her, you know, across these rough waters, right? Like you can see some waves. So spirit is guiding this woman holding a coin, right? And part of that in releasing something from the old. So I'm just intuitively reading the cards today. You know, a lot of the time with certain tarot, there's a specific meaning, right? And then with the Six of Cups, and funny that I shared with the lady this week and her dog. So maybe that is relevant for more than one person, or maybe for someone here. But you know, maybe just thinking about the past, maybe a lot of people are thinking about the past, especially as this person is only taking what she needs, leaving certain things behind. You know, the swords, cutting out certain things that don't serve you anymore. And maybe feeling guilty or shameful for doing that. You know, maybe you had a close relationship, whether it's a friend, coworker, romance, whatever it may be, and maybe you've had to build boundaries, right? So something like that you could potentially feel bad about. Or maybe, you know, a traumatic experience that happened to you when you were a kid, or maybe you're thinking about, you know, an animal that you lost too. It just seems like there's potential things from the past that are coming up. But whatever you're feeling, right, in both of these, okay, whatever you're feeling, you're gonna have success, okay? So there is some deep work going on here. And we're not just able to brush it under the rug anymore. That's really what's important about these surges of energy. We're not able to push away our feelings anymore. And if you have been, it's like a Coke bottle, right? When you shake it up, and if you've never opened it before, right? And it's just been shaking and shaking and shaking, and you've never popped the top off once, it's just all gonna come out a lot more instead of kind of working with those energies. But if you have been, not that it's any easier, because I'm not going to say it is, but what does tend to happen is you recognize it faster, and you're able to notice and work with the energy quicker. I don't want to say necessarily faster, because you know, whatever is meant for you to work through in its own length of time is what's meant for you. And yeah, you start to recognize those things a lot faster. Okay, the world, clarifying the world. I said this wasn't going to be a long video, but I am like super jibber jabby right now. Jibber jabby. Oh, okay, that's a lot of cards. I just want one or two, please. Okay, well, 3. All right, fine. So we got the world again. So the world is coming out twice. All right, so there's definitely some form of completion happening. The 4 of Wands and the Page of Wands upside down. All right. Okay, but this is how it came out. No, this is how it came out in this order. So my nails are like crap, so thank you for Jira pointing that out to others. So that's the order. All right, so the world, we're definitely coming into a completion, and with that being there twice, like maybe that's what a lot of us are feeling. And with this, like looking at the past, right? And you know, the other thing with inner child is it can also have more of like a childlike spirit. Now with the 4 of Wands, I don't remember what the 4 of Wands is actually. I feel like I'm being called to look at that more, not just intuitively, but at the actual tarot. And I'm not remembering the 4 of Wands. Where are you? Give me a second, please. 4 of Wands. Okay. So the reverse is forgetting the importance of the simple things, getting caught up in the drama and lack of harmony, feeling disconnected. Oh, I'm glad I looked at this. Especially the reverse side. So it could be a lot of people are feeling disconnected right now, especially with something coming to an ending, closing out. This feels, it's feels heavy, but simultaneously it can also not be as heavy as you're making it by bringing more of that inner child side and trying to just bring more joy in your life. More joy. And typically this looks like a very playful and lightness to it, but with it being reversed, it's like you're not feeling that way, but that is actually what could potentially really, really help you through this, is having more of that inner child. But there's definitely a massive completion, right? With the two worlds, like something is coming to an end. But also remember, there's always that in-between phase when something is, before something ends and something begins again. There's like what I call kind of like a residual energy that like kind of tests you, like, are you sure you're really done with this? Are you sure you're really done with this? For example, like I'm trying to cut out coffee, and I finally got a coffee alternative that I like because I thoroughly enjoy coffee. And I'll probably still drink it from time to time, but overall, just not drinking as much and not making it a daily thing. Right now, I've really reduced it, like literally probably drinking like an ounce, right? But it's kind of testing me like every day, like, haha, here's this cup of coffee. I know you really like it. And I know you really enjoy it. So are you going to drink more? Are you going to take more? Are you actually going to make a change? And this change is really going to help you in a lot of different ways. But right now, like initially, especially, with addictions or coffee, right? I definitely have an addiction to coffee, like 100%. It's kind of, I lost my train of thought there, but it kind of makes you want to go back into like this past energy a little bit and be like, but I really enjoy it. I really like this feeling that it brings me. Like I remember, when my friend and I used to do this together, and it brought me so much joy, right? But it's like, well, that's not really serving you anymore though. Like, maybe that cup isn't completely being filled anymore like it used to, right? Maybe that cup got a little tainted. Maybe that cup actually needs to be completely emptied to fill up, to have it fill up and to feel more fulfilled and to have more energy and more vibrancy and more joy, or whatever you're really looking for. Maybe more, since there is a card of financial abundance, more abundance. But again, it doesn't just always have to be an actual money in terms of money. It can always be mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, even though for some it very much could be. And then the Page of Wands. It's definitely a new beginning, but with this being reversed, what I'm intuitively feeling is that this new beginning isn't going to happen right away. This energy, because, if you were to see it this way, right? Like this new energy is about to be launched. It's going and it's going to go fast. But with it being reversed, it's like this energy isn't moving anywhere. We need to take time to pause and really consider what supports us, what brings us fulfillment, what are our needs being met, depending on where that would apply, whether it's with another person, romantically, or in a business, or like your job itself. Like I hear so many times, it's like, oh, my job, I just got off work finally. And I'm just like, you're choosing. Like, I'm not saying it's easy, but you're choosing, and I'm not saying work is always easy. It's not. There are always situations, but when you're choosing to have that thought, maybe you could potentially bring some joy into your work, and that could change your whole atmosphere of work. and make it a little bit lighter. Now, people are going to be who they are, but you do have the choice to be able to change how you particularly want to interact with that person, even if they're not going to change, right? But you can. And then another potential is there's so many jobs out there right now, right? Like now is a perfect time through this transition because of COVID. It's really given us an opportunity to see what actually brings us joy and fulfillment, what actually makes us feel successful. And it's not these necessarily material things that really make us feel successful, right? It's not always these outside conditions that really make us feel worthy and successful and loved. So with this being like this, though, this energy is really, before this can come into completion, it's like this residual energy is still there, and it's really asking you to completely look at it, completely clear it, and call in Kuan Yin, especially when you're going through some tough times. Having compassion for yourself, having compassion for others is really what can help you through this process. And, you know, if you are in deep grief, right, that's not always going to be easy, but seeing a lot of the time, right, grief, and, you know, of course, this is easy to say when you're not grieving, right? But it's that feeling of being disconnected from that person or that animal. And what could potentially help you get through is starting to remember the times that you did enjoy with that person, instead of looking at how you're never going to be able to physically connect with them again. Now, that's not easy, and that takes time. So my heart really, you know, holds space for a lot of people who are grieving right now, because it's like it's everywhere. I've noticed it everywhere right now, so that's why I'm talking about it. Okay, so I think that is it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this video is way longer than I was planning. So anyways, if you want a personal reading, I can do a personalized reading for you. I also offer inner child connection services if you feel like you need that in your life, and coaching, spiritual coaching, and alchemy coaching. So yeah, if you also feel like you need some Reiki healing as you're feeling these surges come and go, sometimes we just need someone to hold space for us. Sometimes it's simple as that, right? We just need someone to hold space for us as we're moving through this surge of energy. All right, guys, so I hope you have a joyful day, and I feel like there's something else, but I guess not. I hope you have a joyful day. Much love.